Yeah. I finally got in touch with the people you need to get in touch with. It's fucking crazy, but yeah, Friday is my second one, so.
Nice. Are you Moderna or Pfizer?
Pfizer.
I did Moderna and I was like knocked out yesterday
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still like a little like yeah, I'm having trouble breathing lately. Like I don't know if one of three things might have happened. One, COVID like kicked my like minor asthma into like high gear,
Mm-hmm.
being uh not moving for 14 weeks
That'll do it.
like
A
has
little bit.
destroyed my lung capacity,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm just like still sick kind of.
Probably a combination of all.
Yeah, right. Because I feel garbagey. Yesterday, dude, the round two, I got round two on Saturday, and yesterday I mean, I was useless.
Really.
I mean, I'm usually pretty useless, but especially
I
useless.
think baseline useless, but I was like extra useless.
I mean, I'm baseline useless in general, but really did a number. Welcome everybody to Jesus. Welcome everybody to Does It Get Better? I'm one of two, Neil Rubenstein.
I'm Rich Gaccioni.
Uh, we're a mental health podcast. If you're just tuning in,
It's episode number 19.
wow. I mean, where have you been, people?
Mm-hmm.
You're just yeah. Thank you for watching. This week's episode is, what do we decide on?
Vacation and traveling.
Traveling. We both did some.
Yeah.
Uh, boy, oh boy.
Tell me about what
Uh,
you did. I'm excited to hear your.
I'm excited to hear yours.
Yeah.
So, I, this is this was your first trip since everything.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, Previous to everything, did you enjoy traveling alone?
I really enjoy traveling alone.
You enjoy traveling alone.
I enjoy traveling, period, and I enjoy traveling alone quite possibly more than I enjoy traveling with someone who I enjoy traveling with. It's a very interesting thing for me, but I feel like traveling alone just affords you the opportunity to do whatever the hell you want with no, with no like, hey, oh, we're gonna do this night, this. I don't really like that. I kind of have to admit that I just don't like being on a set itinerary of having to do stuff. I want to just like be
Does it
where.
does it remind you of work? Because like you did that for a living?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's like,
Interesting.
yeah, it's like let me just get where I want to go and enjoy where I'm at and not being at home. You know what I mean? So.
Because I feel like I could go either way. Like I am 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, if I'm alone and I'm just like winging it, I'm like, this is the best.
Yeah, yeah.
But if it's like a regimented schedule and like someone else laid it out for me, I'm like, this is the best. Tell me where to go.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, it's
And
like I've traveled with people before. Like traveling with family, with friends, with whatever, and like some trips will be like I went to Europe like 6 years ago now on like a 10-day vacation, and it was like obviously you're going to be like going to different countries. You got to be at the airport by this time, whatever. That's like one thing. That's like cool altogether because you're going to all these different countries. You're going to go see stuff. You're going to fly in between countries. That's cool. But then there's like trips where like you go one place with somebody and you're like, all right, well, we're going to do this touristy thing this day. And then by 6, we're going to do this. And then
yeah.
that's like that style of traveling. Like I could do without. Like I really like the kind of vacation where it's a legit, just like vacation. You have a couple things in your hand that you're like, all right, let me see what, there's a few things I want to see. Maybe we'll do this day, do that day. I don't like having a hard itinerary because it kind of takes the relaxation out of the vacation a little bit.
Huh. Eh, But hmm. But you enjoy tour when you're not the boss,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
and that's not vacation. It's work,
Yeah.
and so you're comparing it to work, and then it's better than work.
It rides a
Then
fine
you're
line.
comparing it to vacation, where it's worse than vacation.
Yeah.
I like that I can kind of like see like into like other rooms
Yeah,
behind me.
there's more there's actually more house to my house. Yeah. And my little indoor green
Oh, it's that guy.
my little greenhouse thingy.
Look at you.
My little UV lights and some tomato and pepper plants.
Peppers.
Yeah.
My buddy down here was growing habaneros and jalapenos and stuff. Would make salsa with them.
I
All
hope to
right,
be
good
able to do
talk.
that.
Good
Yeah.
talk. Delta's emailing me.
They heard you want to go on
They
vacation.
they heard us talking about vacation. It's creepy, dude. It really is. And now that the chip is in my arm, it's like it's instant. You know what I mean?
You're on
Like,
a new list. Yeah. You're like on a,
yeah,
yeah.
just like as soon as I think it, it's like, here's a message. I'm like,
Uh,
so you hadn't played poker either in
yeah, it's
Spain.
been a long time since I played real poker. Like I went to Foxwoods a couple weeks ago before my trip just to kind of see what that was all about. Like the poker room at Foxwoods is just like a shell of what it used to be. It's like they only have like 14 tables open and they're all like either 1-2 no limit or like 2-4 limit. It's like a very like sad state of the poker room, but I played a little bit just to like see what it was like with the like plastic up and the masks and all that stuff. And then I went to Las Vegas, and Las Vegas is just like functioning kind of like nothing is going on. They have, they have the plastic up, they have the mask requirements, they have the sanitizer. If you like get up from the table, you come back, the dealer like squirts your hands before you touch anything, which is cool. So
I'm
yeah,
sure, dude. I'm sure poker players are so annoying with the mask, sunglasses, hat, hood, like a bandana.
yes, you just can't see that there's a person there at all.
It's just like a.
It's just a cloth head. Yeah, it was.
Those guys always annoyed me when you didn't wear masks. This now it's gonna be like, ugh, ugh.
It was really kind of annoying to get used to because the way the plexiglass is set up, they have a whole bunch of like support like things all around, and then there's like people's chips, and then their hands, and then like people like wherever they have their cards, and then you like people would act out of turn all the time because you either can't hear, people are still like saying check, you know what I mean, or bet, you know what I mean, like,
Yeah, not.
and you
You're
can't,
supposed to.
yeah, like you don't, they're not like tapping the table or whatever, and then like somebody acts out of turn, or you can't see somebody's chips, so you think that they folded, but they're sitting there doing a stupid Hollywood like thinking for 35 seconds when they just need to either fold or bet.
And they already know.
They already know. It's just it's one of those
Just said
things.
it 6 guys ago. Come on. Step your game up.
It was cool though. I went to the Orleans. They have a really good poker room, a really wide variety of games. So I went to the Orleans and played a bit. Had fun. I didn't win because, as usual, I was explaining
Put it in behind, baby. You'll get the.
I was explaining it to somebody, my friend Christian in Las Vegas. After I played for like a full day, we got together the next day. We went to dinner, and he was like, "So how'd you do?" I was like, "Well, it was basically like my bad luck went on pause the last time I exited a casino, and then as soon as I entered the casino 2 years later, it was like play, and like man." Getting 2 and 3 outed on the river, like every big hand, like flopping sets, flopping straights, losing to full houses or higher flushes. It was like I couldn't make it up. And it's like you hear bad beat stories and you're like, yeah, well, yeah, yeah, okay. But like,
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir, man. I don't.
it's like, come on, really? And it's like I play limit. I torture myself by playing limit because like that shit happens more so in limit because people are like,
Because
oh,
everyone's putting it in.
it's
You're
$8
getting the odds, man.
for a $300 pot. It's $8 more. Okay, you know what I mean. So I do it to myself, but you know the statistical improbabilities that happen to me, I feel like, are just like, really, are we?
Nah, man, that was my life. That was it, man. It was just I would just straight like people would be like staring at me, thinking about it. I'd be like, just put it in, man. You're gonna suck out.
Just do it.
Put it in behind. You're behind.
You're
Put
win.
it in. You're gonna win.
That's exactly how I feel.
I'm like, what do you have? 2 outs? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Good. You're gold.
That was me, man. That was me. You know, like, and the icing on the cake was like, the person to my right and the person to my left are getting absolutely hit with the deck. Like whatever they didn't matter. They would win and like win these huge pots with like ridiculous hand. And like I sit there and like look, I'm like, this person, like, were you in the blind? Why are you playing that? Like people are just playing any 2 cards, getting lucky, and just being like all stupid about it.
I'm sorry, you called it 8-4 off under the gun? How did you know everyone was staying? Oh, everyone always stays in. Okay, got it. Okay.
Got it. All right, got it. So once I saw that happening, I was getting more frustrated. So I was good about it. Like I lost a bit and I was getting frustrated. I didn't do the bad thing where I just like stay and try to like chase to like get a little back or get even or whatever. I was just like, you know what? Just not my night, whatever. Let me just go. And so playing was cool. I enjoyed playing. Losing sucks, but that's part of it. I enjoyed the time being in Las Vegas by myself. I went to a couple of the restaurants I liked, saw a couple of friends. But man, that the jet lag, like the time zones and stuff, kill me. 9 o'clock,
Really?
9:30 p.m. At their local time, I am like ready for bed. And I was like really trying to fight with myself to like, I'm in Las Vegas. I can go play poker whenever I want. I can go do anything. I'm in my hotel room, 9 o'clock, just in my pajamas, like struggling to stay awake. So that's one of the things I have to always consider when I go on those trips, that like I need to get stuff done earlier in the day. But I do wake up earlier.
I have 2 questions.
Yes.
One, this is the first time you've been away from George in a long time.
It was, yeah. It was his first his first vacation from me for a very long time, yeah.
And how did you have any like emotional like, or you were fine?
I was a little worried about him. Yeah, I was worried about him because he's been so used to having me home for every single day for the last over a year. And like, I was like, whoa, that's gotta be probably a big stress in his little brain. Cause he went with my friend Jen. My friend Jen was awesome to take him and watch him and stuff. But like, I thought about it, like the first day I was away, I was like, holy shit, we haven't actually been apart since this thing started. Every single day we've been together. So, but he settled in nicely after a day or two, and everything was okay. But I did definitely worry. I was a little like, oh man, little man, are you all right? But he had treats and warm blankets, so he was fine.
And one more question.
Yes,
You ran into an ex,
I did.
and was it fine? Were you fine?
Yeah, everything's fine. Yeah, everything's fine. We've maintained.
Had you been keeping in touch? Like I never talked to you about this stuff because I never know if you want to be talking about this
Yeah,
stuff.
it's stuff I don't really like talk about it because I don't need to or whatever. But it's like fine. Yeah, no. We left our relationship on a adult note. You know, we went our separate ways, but kept in touch here and there, and it just was like a very, very strange coincidence that we were in the same place at the same time, beginning of my trip and the end of her trip. So yeah, it was fine. No, we hadn't seen each other, obviously hadn't seen each other since we had split up. So hung out for a little bit, talked, caught up, and it was nice. It was just I don't even think it was weird. It was just like, it was kind of surreal. It was just like, you know, because we kept in contact, but it was always just kind of like once a month or every couple months, we'd be like, catch up on things. How's the dog? Because George was our dog, so there's still that kind of connection a little bit there. But yeah, no, we caught up and got donuts, caught up, and
How does George feel about pickles?
I don't know. I
Because if
haven't
I
asked
were
him.
George, I'd be like, "You can't replace me, mother." You know what I mean? Like I'd be going after pickles.
That's true.
Like, oh, you got a new George? You think pickles is as good as me? That dog looks like George.
It does. It does. It's like a little. It's like a little mini version. Yeah.
Kind of.
There's only one George.
It's kind of like, what are you doing, Caitlin? Are you a little obsessed with George? Yeah, come on.
I mean, wouldn't you be? Look at him.
I mean, I guess I would be.
Yeah.
Got to get like a different. Would you want a constant reminder of George?
That's
in your
true.
lap
No,
every
yeah,
day?
that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
Psycho. No, yeah, I think she's a sweetheart, and it's so weird because, like, I'm always like, my loyalty is like to
Yeah.
a fault, where like
Yeah.
people are like, "Stop holding grudges," and I'm like, "I'm not holding a grudge. She broke up with you.
Yeah.
Why would you?
Yeah.
We can't be friends."
Yeah. Yeah.
I try to be, I try to be an adult sometimes, and so like, whatever, we follow each other on Instagram. And then I saw that she was in Vegas, and I was like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I got that same like message from like three other people too. Like the question mark squinty face, like whatever. I'm like, yeah, people have lives and where we cross paths. Like there's never been any secret, any secret dealings or anything. It's just very, very coincidental that where our trips had overlapped like that. So
I was like, "You know who else is in Vegas? I think you do know, and I think you knew the whole time, and I think you had a secret rendezvous." You're like, "No secrets."
no secrets.
Um,
Yeah. So it was a good trip. It was good. If Las Vegas is like,
ugh,
it's like a yeah.
like a dumpster fire in the middle of a desert.
It's like it sounds good being like a 4-day trip, but then like 2 days in, I'm just like, I want to go home. I don't know why. Like it's like I build it up in my head to be like this vacation, this place that I'm going to do stuff. And then like, I just want to go home. I don't know. I just like being at home.
Yeah, Vegas is, and it's crazy too. I have a lot of friends out there, and I like good food, and they have tons of good food.
Mm-hmm.
I just hate it. I just hate it so much. I just hate Vegas so much.
You really hate it? You hate it that much now?
Yeah. Well, because I don't do any of the Vegas stuff. I don't gamble.
That's true. That's true.
Um, I don't drink. I don't really, I don't party.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Me too. Yeah. Just like a.
so it's like go spend $40 on lunch, $20 Uber back to the hotel, and then do whatever it is I'm doing.
I almost bet on the college basketball stuff that was going on because I was there during all that,
Yeah.
and I didn't. I decided not to
Sports betting is it.
because I was like, I'm here. There's a huge sports book. Everybody's here. Watch it. And I'm like, I don't know how to sports bet. The last time I sports bet was with you. You were like, do this thing. And I was like, all right. And then we almost won a lot of money.
Yeah. That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. Yeah. So that's why I just decided. I was like, you know what? Never mind.
I remember the first time. It was the first time I bet on horse racing. I was like, I was just doing what like the old timers. I was like, what are they doing? Just like kind of peek over and be like, listen, or like, whatever, like listen to what they said. The guy would be like, go for the trifecta, you're like
Mm-hmm.
7 in the 14th, whatever. And I'd be like, all right, I want trifecta, and I go up and I was like, this is what I want. She's like, all right, sweetheart, whatever.
Is this at off track betting?
This is OTB, yeah.
Ugh.
And then we won. It was like whatever, $10 to win like $1,050 or something like
Whoa.
that.
That's how they get you.
And I was like, oh, this is easy. All right. This is the opposite of easy.
Yeah.
Was, yeah, it's good. Addictions. Yeah,
Yeah, funny. What about you, man? What'd you do? Tell me about yours.
I had, oh, so a buddy of mine. So I have some like, you know, how your friends are in levels.
Yeah.
So one of my, one of my aces, my ace homegirl. She was supposed to go on a weekend uh, opening for a buddy of mine, Adam Gable. And then Adam got COVID.
Great. Of course.
So he told her, he was like, listen, here are the contacts. If you can find a headliner to go with,
Still have the dates
replace me
lined up
and
or
go
whatever.
do
Yeah.
the, yeah.
Yeah.
So she called me first, and I was like, hell yeah. So we went to DC Friday night, and then we went to Bell, West Virginia Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
And then she lives in Jersey, so I dropped her off in Jersey, and then I had a show in Brooklyn on Sunday. And it felt unbelievable to
Great.
just be
That's
on the
awesome.
road, doing comedy, I just felt alive like the first time since October,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
November.
That's great, man.
And felt unbelievable. Those went as good as, can be expected. Yeah, I love being on the road. Uh,
How were the shows themselves?
Fine.
Good.
Like I said, as good as can be expected,
Mm-hmm.
given all the circumstances.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, just felt unbelievable, man. I just felt so good to be out on the road. Uh, that's it. I can't really put into words, you know what I mean? Like I just felt,
It's your thing. It's your yeah. It makes you happy.
those are my two favorite things.
Yeah.
Just traveling. There's no place I'd rather be than on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for real.
When you do shows like that, when you go different places, do you do it the same style as like you would if you were in a band? You get somewhere a little early, you like camp out somewhere, go to a lunch, dinner, or whatever, and do all that kind of stuff.
100%.
Yeah.
So, DC, Abby had some friends, or like ex-husband, and like his friends were there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we checked in. Oh, and she had like mad. He had point. He had hotel points, so he got her the room. Like he got her a room on
Mm-hmm.
points. So we went there early, checked into the hotel, ate dope tacos with her ex-husband, and then we went to the show. We like all Ubered to the show because it was like DC proper and
Mm-hmm.
everything's a nightmare
Everything's
down there.
crazy. Yeah.
We Ubered to the show, and then we went back. We like went to this like gastro pub for the five of us hung out, ate whatever. That was cool. And then yeah, when we got to West Virginia, we got there early. We stopped halfway. We like while driving, she's googling like
Yeah, yeah.
different areas, like halfway points. Like in an hour, there's a pink Cadillac diner. In an hour and a half, there's a Rollers Smokehouse. And I'm like, let's go to the woods to a barbecue shack. That's the move. Um, so you do that, and then you get to the town early, and then seriously, we just hung out at a Chili's for like an hour and a half. At the bar with a bottomless chip. She had her computer out doing some like shit for work. I
Hmm.
was, FaceTime and Dubin, and just
As you do. Yeah, as we do.
yeah, when you're at a Chili's, and then that was it, just yeah, you just chill out. We saw a movie theater, and it was like, oh, if we had like planned it better, like maybe we would have gone to a movie.
Hmm.
But we didn't realize how much time we were gonna have, and there was a thing with the promoter that was like kind of a surprise. So there was like a lot of things moved, but
Hmm.
we were like, oh, let's hang out at this Chili's, and I mean, that's it.
That's
What
it.
am I doing
Yeah.
on the road? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
I go to the hotel if I have a hotel. If not, I go to a Chili's or a movie theater. Then
That's
I go to
awesome.
the show. It's just that's it. I love it. Just show me your America. What you got?
And your material for your shows, have has this been like, I don't know how it works, so forgive me if I sound like an idiot asking about this stuff, but like from what I know, like, are you trying new material? You have new material that you've worked on that you use. Like, how's that go for you? How does that work? Because I'm familiar with some Neil Rubenstein bits, that have stayed around for a little bit, but it's been a while since I've seen you do stand up. So,
So for the most part,
how many
um,
jokes about you breaking your leg have there been?
none. Well, there's
None.
one. There's one, but there's just one little bit, but it's an old bit that just the part of the body changed
Okay.
to modernize. I, it's weird, man, because like I want to say if they're paying me, I'm doing all A material,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just getting out there again, so like
Yeah.
I am kind of testing some stuff. Like, the Bell West Virginia show, they paid me and it was 30 minutes. So I was like, all right, I'm definitely going to give them 15 to 20 at the top,
Mm-hmm.
to let them know that
You're worth
I was worth
yeah,
the
yeah, worth it.
admission.
Yeah.
But then once they like me, I'm going to try some new. And I'll let them know too. I'll be like, there was one there was one bit that like I kind of was working on in the car with Abby. I was like, oh, I want to go in this direction, but what this works, this work. And then on stage, I was like I could see Abby was in the crowds, like she didn't like, it was, sometimes they're backstage,
Mm-hmm.
but I could see her. She was in the audience. I was like, Abby, what? How did that go? How did I start that joke? And she was like, I honestly have no idea what you're talking about. I was like, oh man. So, um, yeah,
But you had a good time. That's it can tell in your vibe that you kind of feel rejuvenated a little bit.
feel like a new person, man. It feels so good. It feels so good to be back to it, and like, it's just crazy what you miss.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Cause like when COVID first happened and we all paused, I was like, oh, I'm never gonna get that momentum back and blah blah blah. And it was
Right.
like, all right, well, there's new opportunities, there's new things. and Zoom shows, and there was like other things. There was like outdoor shows and park shows and rooftops, and I was like, all right, it'll be weird, but it's
Yeah.
there's things. It's not over,
Right.
and
Right.
then I got an offer to do a couple of places in the Midwest, and I was like, oh, this is great. Like we're back to normal.
Yeah.
October, November. I was like, this is great. And then when I broke my leg, then it was like a whole new shitty feeling.
Yeah. It's like a compounded like layer
Yeah.
of shit. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. And you know what I was thinking, man? Like, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but like, I don't know how I would have handled like I was on the shelf for like 14 weeks, and I finally started moving again. And so I booked a couple of dates, like just on Long Island, just to like refresh.
Hmm.
And then I got COVID, and I had to cancel some shows. I don't know if I would have been able to handle that had it not been for this. Like I would have, you know what I mean? I would have been
Yeah.
like, the world's out to get
Yeah.
me. Uh, uh, I'll show them and just, you know, retire.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's it. I'm
retire the
done.
old skin suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hung the old skin suit up to dry.
Well, you
Um,
made it through. I mean, there's like a couple points I can recall it like visually in my head of our conversations every week and stuff. Like you had ups, you had downs, and now the seeing your reaction to being able to do a few shows out of state and stuff is like it definitely is like it got better.
yeah, it got better. It got
so
better.
so that's
Yeah.
definitely nice to see and hear that it did actually like physically and mentally have a positive effect on
Yeah.
you, which is great. Are you using a cane still? Like, is that you have to use a cane or support or whatever?
I mean, I have it next to me, but so I'm trying to wean myself off of it a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I definitely have a very bad limp.
Yeah.
Um, I do not want to walk on stage with a cane.
Yep.
That has always been a thing. I was like, once I broke my leg, I was like, better be able to walk. I'm not going on stage with a fucking cane and my foot in a boot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to have to make diabetes jokes at the top. Uh, at night, like after a day of walking around,
I
I
bet it
need the
hurts a
cane
lot.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And I'll bring it if I'm going out. I'll bring it, but I've needed it less and less.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. Just wondering if it was
Um,
like one of those things you're going to need for a while or that you're going to have to start integrating it into your bit or something. But I know you
yeah.
just, don't want to do that.
No, I definitely. And that's the other thing. I did a half hour in West Virginia. That I did a half hour on Thursday of this week, and after I probably shouldn't have stood up in that half hour, and like just afterward, just like so much throbbing and like
Yeah.
swollen, and I don't know, man. And then I'm nervous, like, am I doing more damage? But I can't be doing damage standing on it. Like, if I'm doing damage standing on it, then the whole thing is out the window. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, you haven't used it for however many months it's been, so I'm sure it's got some healing to do. So
Yeah, but
yeah,
I can't be doing damage standing up,
no,
right?
just don't
It's not like I'm
don't
skipping.
mosh or anything. You're good.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm putting weight on it, half my weight, and then and then all my weight, and then half of my weight again.
And you have plans coming up too. So you had a little taste of a little getaway, and then you have at the end of the month for what, like a month or something? A few weeks. You're going away. That's awesome.
Month and 2 days.
Wow. It's
And
wild to see that that's happening when there was a point where you're like, this is never going to happen again. You know, like it was like unsure, and both are just kind of what's the state of what we're both interested in, and how are those things going to happen again? And it's awesome to see that it's come together.
I never doubted stand up would be bad. I never did. And when I went out in October, November, that was kind of like the proof.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, just because this area doesn't acknowledge it or whatever, I know it's out there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know
of
it's
course.
out there. So and tour was originally was supposed to be like 2 weeks and a weekend,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But then like stuff just kept getting added. So like it was so funny because it was like I was just gonna make my way back home and I think Roanoke was the last of those dates that I added. It was like a Wednesday in Roanoke, and then 8 hours home, and then the World Series of Comedy, like that, like contest. I've
Mm-hmm.
done a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
They have a new satellite, and it's in Atlanta, and I always like to, uh, I want to do well in those. I like
Sure.
doing
Yeah.
those events, and
Yeah.
I feel like if you do well in those events, you meet people, you get shows out of
Mm-hmm.
it. It pays off tenfold, whatever. All the work I have is all people I met
Mm-hmm.
from that, and then people that they introduced me to. So then they added a satellite, and it would just happen to be like, so the Roanoke show's the 12th, and then Atlanta satellite is the 13th through whatever the 15th. And I'm like, I'm 6 hours away in
Yeah.
Roanoke. I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't. I should just, I should just just turn the car
Go
around
up
and
and
go
go
to
back. Yeah.
Atlanta. So then I was like, all right, let me get Sunday through Tuesday back home. So I booked Sunday in like Asheville, and then when I had originally posted the dates, Memphis kept popping up. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have anything in Memphis, but my buddy was like, "Oh, if you need Memphis, you know, here's some Memphis contacts." And the Memphis people were all super nice. And he was like, "Oh, I don't have anything for you. Originally, I wanted Wednesday. It was a Sunday or a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
No, a Sunday or a Monday." And he was like, "I don't have anything Sunday or Monday. I have Tuesday and Thursday." And I was like, "Oh, by Tuesday, I'm in Knoxville. By Thursday, I want to be home."
Yeah.
But then now that I'm extending it, I was like, and then there's a Chattanooga show that my friend books that's every other Friday. And it just wasn't the Friday that I asked for,
Right.
but it's the following Friday. So I'm
It's
like,
like,
oh, if I can do Tuesday and Thursday in Memphis and then Chattanooga on Friday, I'm like, all right, if I can fill that Wednesday,
you're like, I'll
I'll
do it.
stay out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
And dude, that was like the fastest I've ever filled a date. Was I texted my buddy Bear in Little Rock, and I was like, let's just say I'm in town Wednesday, May, whatever. And he's like, oh, yeah, I have a show at Four Quarters Bar. And I'm like,
Okay.
and I do. He's like, dude, yeah, of course. I'm like, ah. I'm like, all right, I'm sticking around. So now it's another week. And then the, one of the early things, so the guy doing the first date is in West Virginia. And I got in touch with him because I was trying to do Hagerstown on the way home. And he's like, it's different markets. It's an hour and a half from each other.
Mm-hmm.
But Hagerstown is really only weekends. Like, no one goes to Hager. But I can do a show in the middle of the week in Kaiser, no problem. And I'm like, all right, Nowheresville, West Virginia, sure. So now I start that. But then I remember the conversation. I'm like, I'm like, oh, after Chattanooga, I could do Hagerstown on a weekend. So it just like kept getting longer
Just
and
keeps going. Yeah,
longer.
it'll never stop. You'll never go home. You'll just
No, and the week after I get home on the 23rd, June 4th, I'm going to Florida for shows.
wow,
So
crazy.
it's like at this point, it's like, uh, let me see if I can stay out.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can do Allentown, DC, and Charlotte.
That's awesome though, man. That's great. That's great to see all of it just coming together again. And like as far as the shows that you've done, like the internal workings of the show, like is there like tables separated and shit like that? Is it just kind of like
Everywhere's different.
like oh yeah, yeah.
Everywhere's
I
different.
figured. I figured.
I think most places is like limited capacity. You only sit with people you know,
Yeah.
masks on unless you're
So
eating and
weird.
drinking.
Dude, on the plane, have you haven't flown, right? And
I flew in October.
oh, that's
I
right.
flew there,
That's right.
then from there to Vegas, and then home.
That's
I
right,
flew
that's right.
3 times.
Dude, so my flight was Providence to DC, DC to Vegas. And the Providence to DC is those fucking little commuter jets.
Horrible. Horrible.
You and I
You
are
don't
big.
even-
We're big people. Those
I don't
seats.
fit.
You know,
I don't fit.
I was like, how is this seat appropriate for anyone other than a child? Like I have big fucking legs. I'm a big dude. We're big dudes. I have big legs. My legs were like, I had to do the crooked sit because I couldn't and I had to lean forward because if I leaned back, my shoulders went into my the person next to me, so I didn't want to be rude and be like in their space. So I did like the crooked sit, lean forward for an hour and 10 minutes on both there and back. It was just like but secondly, the point is this is what you do when you're flying in a plane, right? But like when you're waiting online to get your coffee, you have to be 6 feet away from someone.
Yeah.
It's like
So we can't do comedy. We can't do comedy indoors in New York. Well, you'll pack us in a tube.
literally on top of one another.
Yo. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I joke about the plane. I have a joke where I say, like people complain that the seats are too tight. They can't change positions.
Mm-hmm.
I can't change expression.
Dude, it's wild. And I actually, for the first time in my life, I actually upgraded my seat on both legs, the long leg on the Vegas and back one, because I was like, knowing how miserable I was on the short one, I was like, I'm just gonna. And I looked, and there was an extra seat with like with the leg room. I was like, all right, I'll spend the extra $80 for that. And then on the way back, the same exact seat was available again, so I upgraded again. So it was like, but the leg room's good, but it's like the person right next to you, you know, the middle seat. Because I'm a window sitter. Like I like to be up against the window so I can lean, so I don't have anybody on one side of me. And if I'm in the aisle, I don't like being in the aisle because again, my arm or leg will be out and people bumping into you constantly.
Smash
So-
it with a cart.
I'm a window person, but when there's a middle seat person, it's like I'm a wide dude, and it's like if I just want to lean, I've never ever like reclined my seat because I feel bad. I'm like I don't want to like disturb the person behind me, so I never recline.
I never lean back. I never recline.
Never ever. This arm, my left arm, which would be on the armrest, I'm always the one to keep it on my lap. I let the person next to me have the armrest, so I'm always like doing one of these moves, like up against the window. And then I realized too on this trip, being in my head, I'm like, yeah, I can just lean up against the window, right? Up against the wall or whatever. But like doing it this trip, I realized that it's actually probably more uncomfortable than being in the aisle because like the plane is like curved, right? And it's like you can't actually.
And you're like 6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, I put my head up against the wall, but it just like crooks my neck to a point where I have to like just kind of like contort myself in a way that's not comfortable. So I think I learned my lesson on this trip that like sitting up against the wall means no different. So, you know, I'll have to try the aisle one day and see if it's any different. But it's just like flying for me is just like, one of these days I'm going to fly first class. That's one of my goals
Yeah.
in life, is to fly first class one time.
If I'm not flying with Kathleen, I upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm flying with Kathleen, she sits next to me. I can infringe in her space.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know
that
what I
makes
mean?
sense.
Like,
Yeah.
she's a little person. No, I'm not married to a little person. She's a smaller woman. I can, and like whatever. If I touch her, it's fine.
It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again.
What?
Say what you just said.
If I touch her,
Oh, if you touch her, it's okay.
yeah, isn't it?
I thought you said if I punch her.
have
If I
permission
punch
to-
her, it's okay.
Not sexually. Like I can make physical
Right.
contact.
Right. Gotcha. I just heard different.
I think it's okay. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, when I'm flying alone, I have to upgrade.
That's one of the
Delta, they don't sell the middle seat though right now.
They just started. I just saw
really?
news. So two things about Delta I just saw on the news. Funny that they emailed you when we were talking about traveling. One is that they canceled 100 flights due to lack of staff, and two, they started selling the middle seat again. So they're having some problems right now.
Gross.
Yeah, I think if I travel, I think I just got used to car, van, road travel so young in my life that it's just like I would much rather take 2 days to drive somewhere than 5 hours to fly there. It's like when we drove to Dubin's wedding. I drove to Dubin's wedding. You came back with me, but it was because I didn't want to fly. Do you remember that?
Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember that person. I do.
That person
I
we
do.
stayed with.
I can never forget. Yes.
What was?
That was my best friend's significant other at the time. Horrible.
Yo, she sucked. What was the thing? Like we weren't allowed to use the internet.
Yeah, no. We couldn't do anything. It was like, hey, we're just gonna go. I think we're just gonna go.
We're like, can we use the internet? She was like, no. And then I feel like there was like we couldn't use the bathroom. Like we couldn't.
Yeah.
No, there's no. Don't use the hot water. Like there's so like other weird rules.
Can we have something to eat? No. Yeah, that wasn't a good time. But yeah, man. Just I think if I travel, next time I travel, I'm gonna do a little road
Is that
trip.
Mark Hunley's drone?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Thank God he figured it out.
Yeah, he did. His birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday. That girl sucked. All those kids are clustered together, huh? Jim was just recently.
Yeah, and everybody's a big fucking. It's like the end of March and April is like one batch of our friends, and then mid-July is like me, and then like 6 of my other friends. We're all like.
When's Poodle?
He's July. He's in the July.
Your cluster.
The cluster. Yeah. That's. I think he's the 10th or something, or maybe he's after. I don't know. I can't remember. This is the year that I add all of my friends to my fucking calendar, so I remember next year. Oh, yo, I didn't tell you. My new band, my heavy band, we're going to record a demo next month. We're recording a 2-song demo, and it's like the first time ever I've started a band with people, wrote music, and decided to go record my own music. Every band I've been in has been like, hey, you want to be in this already established thing that you really don't have any say in, but we just need you to play this instrument? I'm like, yeah, okay. So getting back to like, you're doing comedy and you're getting back to the things that bring you happiness. I'm like also seeing that there's like a light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, shows and stuff is one thing. I'm like, I'm good on like not having shows and stuff right now. Like I can still go without being in crowds and stuff, and seeing like awkward outdoors things don't appeal to me at the moment, but those kind of things are happening. But like going to the studio, recording, it was funny because how you were saying you got excited about the process of going on the road, doing the thing, you go to this place. Once we decided that we were going to record this demo, we hit up our friend Shane, who owns a studio on Cape Cod, and he's the very awesome, well-known studio for heavy music. And I hit him up, and instantly he was just like, yes, whatever, yes, just make sure he's really excited to record the band, right? And once I got the yes from him, the band group chat, Joe, our singer, he was like, I'm going to start looking at Airbnbs. We're going to stay overnight. We're just going to make a bro weekend. We're going to get coffees in the morning. We're going to have fruit. We're going to have oatmeal. We're going to sleep. It was just, we're just like, it was like,
real bro.
It was like the most excitement and like giddiness I've seen from a bunch of like older like dudes that are recording like heavy music. But it was like, we could have coffee in the morning. Someone bring French press.
Do you watch Saturday Night Live at all?
No, I don't. I haven't watched it in a long time.
Yeah, so this week on Saturday Night Live, they were like, "Yo, we're gonna have a bro weekend," and he was like, and Daniel Kaluuya was the host, and he's like, and since it's Mother's Day weekend, we'll invite our moms. And Mikey Day's like, no, dude, but then like the mom thing like gains steam with all the other people. And that's just like that's like what you guys that's you guys though, for real though, because you're like, yo, we're gonna go bro weekend, get coffee and oatmeal and fruit. We can bring our cats.
Dude, I'm bringing George. Yeah, that's right. The first thing, like, I was like, do you think I could bring George? They were like, hell yeah, bring George. So I was like, all right, bring George. And that's
get George's little ear muffs.
I gotta get him a little things. He's gonna be tortured.
Too loud for George.
Yeah. But no, it's like it's cool. Like, speaking of traveling and stuff, I mean, even these like little things, like we're like to cap that off, Shane's studio. It's a studio where he has like an apartment for bands to stay. Like I had hit him up and I was like, oh, I think we're gonna actually look for an Airbnb and stay out there the night before, so we're already out there, so we can start early, whatever. He's like, dude, just stay at my house. The studio's made for bands to come and stay. I was like, oh, all right, cool. He's like, just come. So we're gonna go out there, but it's like just the thought of like an overnight trip with some friends is like, and not have, so because we've all been like through the whole like vaccination thing, we've been through all like the wearing the mask and being careful, and just like we're all adults now, and it's like we can make these plans and be excited about it. And it's like as simple as literally just like a bunch of dudes at a house. And we get to wake up in the morning. We're going to record music later. But first, we're going to drink coffee and eat oatmeal and have some fruit and like do a couple air squats and get the blood flow. You know what I mean? It's like silly shit like that. You're going to
bring a specialty seitan?
Probably, yeah. I'll probably bring some breakfast sausages. And we're going to cook breakfast for each other, shirtless in our underwear.
Shirtless, baby. Got to get those shirtless pics.
Well, no, it's nice to know.
Oh, Poodle sent me that photo.
Oh God!
The other day, just like out of the blue, he just texted me that photo, and that's the photo I use for his
contact,
yeah, and for yours.
No way. God.
So he sent me the photo. I just sent him a screen cap.
I don't even remember the context of that photo. Like, I vaguely remember.
I remember screaming, "Just gloves!"
Just gloves, that's right.
And everyone just did it. It was like, yeah, just gloves. Why?
Just because.
I had a fantasy that it won't happen, but you know Trevor Dykstra from Spread the Disease and New Day Rising?
Yes.
He was like playing some riffs on Facebook the other day, and I don't know if he's got like a home for him. I was like, I'd love to do a fucking mail-in project. Fucking you, him.
Mail order metal.
You, him, me, and then I mean, I can think of 9,000 people I'd put on bass, and then maybe Tucker, but it's a pipe dream.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day we can just do a song. We can all just finally get that to happen because we've talked about it for
Yeah.
years. Just do like
I mean,
one
that's how
song.
it starts, right? Just one. We just gotta get
just
one.
do one thing. Let's do one. And just start small. That's how I learned how to do shit. Just do once. Do it once. And if you do it once,
I did a thing once. It was Will Noon, me, Mark O'Connell, and Derek, and we sent everything back and forth. And then I put vocals on it, and they did not like it. And it died on the vine.
yeah.
That was a real shame. It's a real bum out to know that you're the weakest. like, oh, this would definitely survive if it weren't for me.
Well, we're about to wrap up, I guess, but I wanted to say congratulations on getting your shit together, to put it as easily as I could. No, I'm really happy for you. It's nice to see you happy and doing the thing that you love and getting back to work. As weird as it is to like say, it's like getting back to work, but like it is. That's your job, and you make money, and you also enjoy what you do. So I'm happy for you. It's a good start to getting back to normal, and I think we all need it.
The tour is really gonna kickstart. Look, I think the hustle is over, like the grind.
Mm-hmm.
I think both my station in life and the situation at hand, I think that like hustle of me doing 3 mics a day and then or whatever, 2 mics a day, then a show, then a hang, then a late night spot, like doing all that stuff. I think that's gonna be gone.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can do 30 shows in 30 days on the road, that feels just as good.
That's
I think.
Awesome. Yeah.
I won't be running myself ragged. I won't be wasting money. I'll be out in the world.
And the cool thing is, man, it's important though. I mean, you know this, but you enjoy it. Like it brings you joy, and you're a fucking comedian.
I bring joy to others.
I mean, yeah, it's fucking corny. I know, whatever. But you have to admit sometimes that like is the truth. You make people laugh.
No, that is the truth. That's why I don't get like. Sorry to cut you off. Like I don't get these comics who are like dark and like, but like intentionally lose crowds or like be confrontational with the audience. It's like, yo, our job is to sell chicken wings, bro. Like. Like just like if you want to piss people off, there's other ways
right
to do that. You know what I mean? Like that's why it's so easy to like cut certain words out too, like without again, I'm not adhering to any thought police or whatever, but it's like if people don't want to be called midgets and retards, then I'll just stop. Like okay. I don't want to, like, why would I want to just piss those people off?
Why do I have to
like,
fight it? Yeah.
I just won't use those words in my stuff. Like, fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that, you know what I'm saying?
Sense.
Like,
that makes sense. You have a logical brain. You have a logical way of thinking and like rational, logical. Sure. Yeah.
Like, I don't need that word.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't need, like,
yeah.
And obviously, like, I'm not scared to say it. Like, I just said it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I'm like, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, my job is to entertain and to have you in a good mood.
Right.
I need to do, like, if I'm not at 96%, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm like doing, does that make sense?
It makes sense. Yeah. I mean,
I want to work a cruise ship. You know what I'm saying? I want to work a post-COVID cruise ship.
Oh my God.
Can't wait. I want a buffet.
Yo, when you do that, can I be your manager, your assistant? That would be awesome.
I'd love it. In my day-to-day. Be like, I need 2 first-class plane tickets to Miami.
Oh man.
I'll need 2 captain's rooms. We wouldn't fit in one
No,
cabin.
absolutely not. uh, all
You
right,
been on
man.
a cruise or no?
What's that?
You been on a cruise? Or
I've been
no?
on a cruise. Yeah, I actually really
Dude,
liked it. I didn't think I would like it.
I really did like it
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
but dude, it is tiny.
It's cramped. Yeah,
All the like, I would poop in the public bathroom
because
because
the room bathroom
the
is
bathroom in
like
your room is too small.
it's like an airplane bathroom, but even
I don't-
smaller somehow.
Yeah, I'd have to have the door open.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
See everyone next week.
See you next week.